Yeah, g'day. I've had quite a few people asking me to give my thoughts between the Kawasaki Versys 300 and the Cfmoto 450mt. Now, I own both these motorcycles, so these are just my thoughts between the two. Look, you know, in some ways it's an unfair comparison because I do see that they're marketed as different vehicles. The 450 is a more off-road designed bike. The Versys is more, well, they call it any roads, any time. Yeah, it can do off-road, and it can do off-road better than they market it as, but I don't think that's the point of the bike. You know, it comes with a 19-inch front wheel, shorter travel suspension, lower ground clearance. It does what it's designed to do very well, but I think it's aimed at a different thing than the MT is. The MT is more off-road, it's got fully adjustable suspension, longer suspension, more ground clearance, a 21-inch front wheel, so it does the off-road a lot better. It is more powerful, and it does give the impression of more power because the Versys, the power doesn't kick in till 10,000 revs, so it takes a long time for it to get up, you know, into that rev range where it actually delivers the little power that it actually does have. So the 450 is way more fun, and to me it's more usable power for off-road. You know, I find it hard anyway to keep, you know, the revs at 10,000 off-road. It's just, to me, it's not a natural thing. You know, the 450 does come with more options, more features than the Versys, and that's for sure, and it's possibly better value for money. But, you know, you've got to look at the Versys, what it's designed for, and you know, the any roads, any time, I think that does that extremely well. You know, people have criticised the 450mt because, you know, at freeway speeds it's at 6,500 revs, and it redlines at 8 or 8.5, I think it is, and so it's quite up there. I don't think that's a big deal, but have a look at the Versys. You know, at highway speeds, at freeway speeds, 120, 150, 110 I should say, you know, it's about 8,000 revs a minute, which is higher than the MT. However, the power of the Versys doesn't kick in till about 10,000 revs. That makes that engine not stressed at all sitting at 8,000 revs. It sits there all day, just sings along, it's not stressed, it's very comfortable. If you want to overtake, you probably have to knock it down possibly 2 gears to actually get it into the power range to overtake, and that's where I think a lot of people don't do. So, you know, it's in some ways it's an unfair comparison. I've been criticised in one of my previous videos about comparing the MT to the 450, sorry, beg your pardon, to the 300 Rally, because they're designed as different things. Well, I tend to disagree a bit. I think the 450mt is closer in its design to the Rally than it is the Versys, even though they sort of look the same, and you can say it's an adventure bike. But let's not go into what is an adventure bike thing. Everyone has their own ideas. You know, you can do an adventure on a scooter, for God's sake, or you can do it on a Harley. You know, it's an adventure is what you make of it, not actually a definition of a bike. So, you know, so I think that the 450 is closer to the Rally than it is the Versys. So I do have a little bit of a hard time comparing the MT to the Versys. Sure, there's overlap, as there is with any bikes. You know, and if you want to get that critical, then you probably can't compare any bikes with each other, you know. So, you know, this video I'm not going to give you a defined answer of which one I think's better. I think they're both very good bikes. I think they both have their place in the market. I think it just depends on where you are in the market and what you want out of a bike as to what you want. I sort of see a place for both these bikes at the moment for me. You know, I think possibly if I was setting off on my next longer trip, at the moment I'd probably still take the Versys, just simply because the engine is just not stressed at all at freeway speeds, does it all day, and it doesn't complain, you know, whatsoever, and it's just an easy bike to live with. Anyway, I hope that is. If there's any other questions, look, leave them in the comments below, and just remember to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Hey, thanks for watching.